a tragic accident. Like tragic accidents just happen all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive? Well, hello, my silky, sassy, saucy, spicy, whatever friends, and even my shady enemies. Hello to you too. I know this one is starting later, and I hate that because I know a lot of y'all have to work tomorrow, and I get it. I am sorry about that. I planned to start at 6, but you know what? Geez, my daughter had a school event that I had no idea she was actually going to go to today. And so it's like, oh, hey, Mom, surprise. So I'm going to try to get started. Let me say hello to everybody. Hello, Angie Pangy. Is that Angie Pangy? Am I saying that right? Professor Pug. Hello, hello. Wisdom Sleuth. Hello. Let me go down here. Samantha Springman. You know what? I'm going to have to get my glasses. Hello. Just Deb. Hiawatha. How you doing? Y'all already have a great chat going here. Absolutely wonderful. Let me get on down here. Bonnie. Hello. Let me see. Let me get down all the way. All right. Jinxie. Wait. I missed some people. Let me go back up. I don't want to miss anybody. Laura Thompson. The cats and I are watching tonight. Oh, my cat's around here somewhere. Unmasked Truth. Hey there. Jinxie, good to see you. I'm glad to have you here. We haven't had a whole lot of trouble, have we, lately? Not hardly anything going on. Velvet Underground, how are you? No, she wasn't in court. She was, she doesn't do stuff like that. But she was part of a club that they were riding in the parade. And so, last minute she decided to participate. Where did you go? Raggedy Susan. Good to see you. All right. So, I don't know if y'all saw, if you did not see the live that I did with CJ and Coach Kev. It was on CJ's channel. I streamed it to mine. But wow, it was a really good discussion, and probably some of the things I know that we talked about are going to come up tonight. Hello. Sorry, I can't see. Snowwalker. Thank you. That's sweet. I wish I could see out of my eyeballs without these, my $1.25 Dollar Tree glasses. How are y'all doing tonight? I am so glad you're here. So glad that you're making the time. Hello, Michelle. And for the rest of you that I know, a lot of people on the replay crew, and that is fine. Look, I do the same thing. How many of you saw the interview on with Sleuth with Patrick Westfall? I watched it several times, and let me say a couple of things, okay? First of all, since my last live, we've had all this information about geez, everything. It seems like every day something's dropping in Delphi, doesn't it? Let me start with the photographs. If you get the photographs of the crime scene, delete them, okay? I hope and pray that nobody is going to, oh no. Did my, okay, I don't know if it's just my TV. I don't know what's going on here. Or StreamYard just, took a, you know, dump on itself. Who knows? I don't know if you can hear me, if it was going nuts on my side. Jeez. But anyway, let me go back to the pictures. I hope nobody releases those crime scene photos, okay? If you get them, delete them, please. And I think everybody has been respectful. Yes, we all want to know. We all want to know. I personally do not want to see the crime scene photos. I would like to read the autopsy report. How much would that tell us? We wouldn't even need to see the crime scene, would we? But I was told today that there is going to be, a hearing on next Thursday, the 19th at 2 p.m. That's what it's scheduled. And I heard that they're going to allow cameras in the courtroom. So just so you know, I am trying to see if there is any way I can get a few hours off that day or something. I would love to go live. CJ, the Evil CJ show, and he's not evil, it's Everywhereville CJ, is going to be in Delphi, and he is going to be going live from somewhere if he can get in the courtroom, whatever. So I'm going to try to stream off of his to my channel as well, or be on panel or something like that. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. Really want to know. I'm very eager to know what's going to happen. What do y'all think? If you had to guess. Okay, let me see what you're saying. Yes, Professor Pug, that is my biggest question. My biggest question, when was the time of death? Absolutely. Because that would tell us everything, right? There's so many theories of whether they were out there, whether that was actually the day, whether it was in the afternoon, whether it was at 2:30 a.m. when they heard the screams. That would tell us everything we needed to know, wouldn't it? And me too, just Deb. All I want is the truth, I don't care whose hide it chaps. But let me just tell you, the tea that we're going to finish, the tea we were talking about the other day, and you all had some wonderful comments in the last video, and we're going to look at those. All right, so let me get ready for that. Let's see. You are absolutely right, Michelle. I am thinking that same thing. Michelle says, how do we even trust the autopsy report? This county is ridiculous. Yeah. I have actually thought about that, as well. If the coroner was crooked, yeah. Then what you gonna do? What you gonna believe? Yeah, it's so jacked up. Sorry, my dog is making noise. Maybe you can hear it. Jinx says Judge Gold surprised everyone by making the upcoming hearing in Allen County. Oh, okay. That's okay. Stop it. That's home team advantage for her. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I unfortunately will be here in Alabama. at work that day. But like I said, I'm going to try to see if there's some way I can get a little bit of time. Definitely am going to be on Discord watching everything that people are putting on there during that time. All right, let's go and start. Yeah, Laura, I know you had a really bad time with the court system. Look, and that happens everywhere. All right, let's go ahead and put this up. Okay. And I just want to go over some things that y'all said. Let me see if I can change this. There we go. This is talking about, let me go back just a little bit. This is talking about Ron Logan, because, you know, here's the thing. Oh, Ron, he still comes up. And in my opinion, it's for good reason. Now, again, if you don't remember from the last video, I took everybody's name off this one. Now, I think we're going to have another one that's got people's names from the live chat. But some of the stuff that we had covered earlier, I just didn't want you all lovely people to have any trouble, especially those in the Delphi area. Didn't want anybody, you know, being ratted out for things that they say. Yes, people can, you know, people can absolutely just have a rough time, okay? Let's just leave it at that. Oh, thank you, Professor Pug. That's very sweet. All right. I believe so. This one, and again, now unless I go back to the original photo, I don't even know who said this. But they said, I still believe Logan was involved to some extent, not just because of his false alibi, but as it turns out, practically everything he said was a lie, even afterwards. Ellie didn't go hard after RL. In fact, he was never even interrogated regarding the unalivings. How could RL make such statements as whoever did this is long gone? Good question. This won't ever happen again, not here anyways. If he didn't know who was responsible or wasn't involved himself, how would he know this? People are under the impression that he was cooperative when he was anything but. He wouldn't allow Ellie to search, and they obtained search warrants to do so. Okay. I have always said this from the beginning, just my 2 cents worth, okay? I've always said, how did he not know something was happening on his property? It's possible, but I would even say, okay, maybe you didn't hear or see anything. That's a stretch for me, but okay. My question is still about the alibi. Yeah. Why do you need an alibi for a time period for a crime that nobody knew had been committed? So, you know, it's kind of like, did he know something was going to go down? He didn't know what, or did he just think that somebody was maybe doing something illegal, didn't have anything to do with the girls, and he just wanted an alibi? I don't know. What do y'all think? A lot of people have counted him out. I don't necessarily think he was the perpetrator. I just think that, you know, good chance you heard or saw something. You know, that's just my opinion. For what it's worth. Hello, Four Pits. How are you? All right. You know, and here's the thing. Everybody makes such good comments. You just keep going with spicy tea. All right. Let me finish this one. Let's see. Funny thing is, they didn't need his consent due to the bodies being found in plain view on his property and because of the conditions of his probation agreement. True. Ellie didn't go after Ron Logan. In fact, they dropped the ball and turned a blind eye, just as they did with the Odinist angle. And here is the one thing, and I know some of you really support Ron Logan, and, you know, that's fine. That's fine. I would say this though, the FBI really did target him, okay? I have heard that, actually, I've heard two things about Old Bridge Guy sketch, you know? I've heard that it was drawn to resemble Jimmy Duvall. I have also heard that it was drawn to resemble Ron Logan. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But again, if the FBI was really targeting him, then I feel like there was, some good reason. But they could have been wrong too. I don't know. And unfortunately, we can't go back and visit that since he's no longer with us. But yeah. All right. Okay. We were talking about Brad Holder and his Freemasonry affiliations. Thanks for this, Silky. Was wondering when someone was going to address the Freemason connection to Brad Holder. Layers and layers of affiliations. We need a diagram of the players and their affiliations. Yeah, we do. And actually, on CJ's show this afternoon, when Coach Kevin and I were talking, somebody asked a question, because if you listen to Patrick Westfall's interview, he said that the falling out that he had with Brad Holder was not over what everybody is saying is a sacrifice gone wrong or a difference of that. He said, if you haven't heard it, that the reason that he and Brad fell out is because Brad was teaching or going to a Christian church and then coming to his house and, all involved in the Asatru religion. And so when Patrick said, when he found out about that, he told Brad, look, you can't do both. You're going to have to pick a side. And so he says that Brad said, well, I guess I'm out of Asatru. I'm going to go with this other. And the question was presented, did Brad Holder choose that? Because, now understand, a lot of Freemasonry they do use scriptures, okay? They do use biblical references. However, you do not have to be a Christian to be a Freemason. You have to have some kind of God. But not everybody who is a Freemason follows Christianity. But due to the affiliations and the power, okay, that the Freemasons have, the people in political power and everywhere, it's a brotherhood. The question was, did Brad choose that because it was more influential in his opinion? And I don't know. I can't answer that question. Only Brad Holder could answer that. But it was definitely a thought, because we know that Brad is a Freemason. Nick McClelland is at least a Master Mason. And a lot of law enforcement. We talked about this before. So, yeah, I would say if you're going to have to pick sides, you'd probably take the better route to say, oh, well, I'm going to stay with Christianity because it's more acceptable with the Freemasons. I don't know. What do y'all think? But there you go. There you go with the, okay. All right, let's think about this, all right? This is my opinion. But if Nick is a Freemason, again, we're talking about the prosecution. We're talking about all these years of it not being solved like Robert Ives thought it would be solved quickly. If Brad was guilty, or if he was involved in any way, shape, or form, the prosecution, especially now, they wouldn't be able to really, they would shy away from prosecuting a brother. Okay, so you can definitely see where something like this could have an effect. It's like, well, I don't know. Is that what happened? I don't know, but it is certainly, I would not call that a fringe theory. I would say that is a very valid uh, hypothesis of what could have happened. Do y'all hear my stomach growling? Oh my gosh. uh, let's see. Let's go to the next one. Okay, oops. Well, okay. You crazy thing. I skipped one of these. And now it's not doing anything. Come on, computer. All right, I'll have to go back and get that one. This one says, I really enjoy your show, but wanted to say I didn't really understand the comment near the end when you said you can't imagine what Brad Holder and his family must be going through right now. Can you imagine what R.A. and his family are going through and have been going through for almost a year now? Okay, let me clarify this, okay? Again, balance. Balance, balance, balance. If Brad Holder or R.A., either one of them, were proven to be, oh my gosh, now it's just doing what it does. I can't stop. This is crazy. Literally, my computer is going nuts. But let me go back to explaining why I said that. All right. The first video I ever did on Richard Allen was, basically, hey, let's not crucify the family. We don't even know if they knew about it, right? His wife and daughter. The same, okay? We don't know if Brad Holder is involved. And that's all I meant to say is, again, don't jump to conclusions. Don't everybody get your pitchforks and your torches and go storm Brad Holder or Patrick Westphal or anybody, okay? Are there things that, make us question? Yes, but it doesn't mean they did it. I'm just saying, y'all, don't get a mob theory. Don't get mob mentality and, just go after somebody. Let's think. Let's see the evidence. Let's research. Let's find out. If they're guilty, then, still don't go to their house with a pitchfork and torches, though, okay? Let's let justice take its course. And that's all I'm saying is, when this memorandum came out, everybody's like, oh, let's just, crucify Brad Holder, and that is not fair. Okay, put yourself in that situation. All right, would you want to be would you want to have to go through that, especially if it turns out you're not guilty? All right, that's all I was saying. Let's take it down a notch, right? You need to know. So, you may disagree with me on that, but I do not know why my computer will not work today. It literally will not back up. I'm going to try to go back through these. I've never in my whole life, because this is, I don't know, unless it's StreamYard. Let's just read this one. It wasn't staged. In my opinion, it was evidence of an actual event. That is where the confusion has been interjected and why it has gone on so long. Okay. We've talked about how the prosecution has said, even Can y'all hear me at all? All right. I think I'm on. It looks like the stream is still going. Is it? I I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna tell you, I don't even know what to say. It must be StreamYard. I don't know if you could hear me in the background during that. It literally crashed. StreamYard crashed. Somebody please give me a thumbs up or whatever if you are actually seeing this. Oh, okay. Somebody did. Just Deb said you're good. I don't know. And it took, maybe the ghost was playing with my computer. I don't know. Here's the thing. It literally took all of my, everything I had to present. So give me a second. Let me get it back up here. I've got two of them. Let me see if this one's it. We'll do this one. Okay. My device is having trouble sharing my video. Can y'all hear me? What on earth? Okay, somebody tell me again. Am I up? Do y'all see anything? Okay. I see myself. Wow. Well, this is sure unusual. Okay. We're gonna do this. Jeez. All right. You see, this is what I don't understand. My whole computer went out twice. Once it just StreamYard crashed, and then the second time my computer crashed. But yet when I booted it back up, it was still on live stream. So my question is, how is it live streaming when, how is it live streaming? You know? When I'm fix this again. How we got a live stream going when my computer was actually off, like completely crashed? That is interesting to me. All right, let me go back here. Okay, I think we looked at this one. I am so sorry, y'all. See, we talked about that. Okay, let me just let this play for a second. All right, we talked about that one. All right. We talked about the staging. Let's, before we get into this one, it's kind of in the same vein. Uh, Jeez. The staging. Um, the comment was, I don't think it was staged. We've talked about if it is staged, you have two totally different things. You have the actual perpetrator, the actual motive for the crime, and then why did they make it look like, something else, which in this case was to blame the Odinists. If it was staged, this person was saying, basically, I don't think it was staged. And someone else said that makes sense. Most normal folk wouldn't have been privy to that kind of thing. I assume that means the Odinism. So staging posing would be logical, but you're right, it may not have been staged or posed at all. Catherine Ramsfield, Brian Koberger's tutor, says, what you see is all there is. So let me ask you, I'm gonna wait for you to say it in the comments. Do you think it was staged, or do you think it was real? I mean, uh, is there evidence, to suggest that something like that could have happened from, somebody? Now, I'm not even saying the whole group of Odinists, but it could have been. There are lots of things, the full moon, the time of year, the festivals, are there things that could have been done? Sure. Sure. But, they've said, law enforcement has said it was staged. So, here's my question though. If, let's just say for the sake of argument, it was a complete occultic thing. My question is, why Abby and Libby? Okay. Why, as some of the Odinists have said, not that it is, we talked about this, but sacrifices have been willing, according to some people. According to the text or the Facebook messages, whatever it was we were looking at, they were willing people. So why? What would it, why Abby and Libby? Okay, it doesn't seem like they would be in the group. What reason would people have for that? That's kind of what makes me think. All right, let me see. What did you say, Velvet Underground? We need you to get in your neighbor's Wi-Fi so that people can't mess with it. Yeah, right. Yeah, Jinx, you missed the gremlins. Charles Godwin says, you think it was staged? Yeah, yeah. I tend to think so too. For a lot of reasons, I tend to think it is, but I could be wrong. I mean, a mass truth. Odin worship is apparently interpretation and perception based, so I don't consider it staged if that is a factor. Certainly, I honestly, who knows? It could go either way. All right, all right. This is interesting. Velvet Underground. Thank you, True Crime Jesus. By the way, his videos or channel or whatever is back up if y'all want to go look at it. I learned from him and other cases now that staging is something like 25% done by a sadistic perpetrator, but most likely done to throw off LE. Yeah, that is basically what, even when we were studying, you remember when we looked at a couple of weeks ago about the British Journal of, Criminology. That's what they were saying as well. And when they're teaching people, when you have something, like that, it is usually staged to throw off LE. Was it? I don't know. But here, think about this though. Um, and we talked about this a lot on CJ's. Even though it might be completely staged, what it does is it definitely is going to put doubt when the defense uses that or brings that up. It's going to put a reasonable doubt because there are so many signatures or things that the biggest thing is law enforcement lying, okay? And the judge recusing himself and all this kind of stuff, and the affidavits that came out this week. Lord, don't even get me started. I think it's going to put a reasonable doubt. So if you are on the RA is guilty side, I'm going to tell you, unless they can really, really bring some knock it out of the ballpark evidence, I'm going to say Richard Allen is going to walk on this one because it is so convoluted and there are possibilities. All you need is a reasonable doubt. Remember? That's all you need. And is there enough stuff that has been covered up and, yeah, I think there is. And I don't want to see, if RA is guilty, I don't want to see him, walk. But I also don't want to see him, go to jail for a crime he didn't commit. And I just think that there's a lot of reasonable doubt. And I mean, look at the defense team. That's just my opinion, but I think so. Okay, Jinx says, I got the chance to actually talk with Robert Ives, and he said he stands by his original statement for it being staged. Well, it definitely could have been. Samantha Springman, if it was staged for the purpose of framing others, then whoever did the staging knew a lot about Odinist and the occult. I agree. Okay, because it's not like Odinism. Now I don't know. I'm not from Carroll County, so I don't know how much people know. Uh, but I would think, I suppose, and that's all it is. I suppose that people probably do not. The general population does not know all the ins and outs of what runes mean, what this one means, what that means, what I would think that they are not familiar with that. Okay, so that being the case, that would tell you something about the perpetrator if they staged it, right? So think about that. Hoosier says staged, in my uneducated opinion. Very definitely could have been. Professor Pug, prosecutions have the motive still as a Lone Ranger. What is their MO now? Yeah, good question. Poor Pitts. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, I say that about the whole dang Delphi case. Man. Let's see. Bonnie says real. You know? Do things like this, you've heard me say it a bunch of times. Do things like this happen? They absolutely do. And then if you go back to what Catherine Ramsfeld says, what you see is all there is, you see, it's like the case just keeps getting more and more convoluted. Deeper down the rabbit hole we go. Let's see. Yeah, Jinx. I mean, both sides have screwed this up really badly, in my opinion. Let's see. All right, so we've got different opinions. That's good. Let me tell you something. That's good. Different opinions is a good thing. And I can't. Oh, I'm so far behind because of the crash. All right, so let's go on a little bit. Okay, do we really believe that the bad actors would leave this video to be found with any true evidence on it? The planning that went into this crime shows it was controlled by professionals with extensive LE knowledge. This video did exactly what they wanted. It sent law enforcement and everyone else on a wild goose chase. Thus, unsolved 6 years later. This video has been altered by everybody involved in this case, proven by professional photo analysts, and admitted by LE. Now, if you saw the very first of this video, and let me see, I'm afraid to touch the dang thing. I'm afraid if I'm gonna lose it. Let me go back to right here, all the way in the beginning. You see this picture? All right, see this picture? And I saw this, actually it came up in several different discords and discussions in the last week. You see how the blue is, and you see like kind of the black or the darker blue, whatever that is in the background. Now, I saw, was it a text? What was it? I can't even remember, Lord Jesus, y'all. But that this was altered. ISP and the FBI are both aware. I can't remember if it was FBI that changed it or ISP, but they're both aware. They made this, okay, bridge guy. You see, that's the blue that we're maybe a little bit darker, but that's the blue that we're kind of used to seeing. Now, if that colored area is really what you see, I mean, you can see the person behind it is considerably bigger, right? Also, you can see on the right hand, I don't know what that is in his hand, but definitely that is a lot clearer than what we have ever seen from other photos. So, if that's true, and then y'all know, a couple months ago, we showed that, and I've still got that picture from the Pharaoh's Tribune, where it looks like a law enforcement officer walking on that bridge, striped down the side, handcuffs, on the pants. Come on. So, just based on all this, I have to say, first of all, I would think the newspaper is not going to print something that is a complete lie. But that was the first picture, and then we came out with Bridge Guy. Y'all know there are a lot of people that have done a lot of work on this, and I'll just tell you, some people's opinions, some people have some kind of out there opinions about the headgear and what he's wearing, and I don't know. I've always said I'm not a professional at that, but definitely I think there has been some alteration, and now we know. Okay, yes, they did alter it. How did they alter it? Is this, is the picture that we just looked at, is that the only alteration? Well, no, because his arm, whatever's in his hand, whatever is on that side, that's completely different. So, I mean, it's jacked up from the very beginning, y'all. Y'all have some great discussion. Professor Pug says, so when is Liggett going to be arrested if he so-called got caught in lies with Holman? Yeah, good question. We talked about that today too. Definitely somebody needs to be held accountable, arrested, whatever. I think it was Coach Kev that said definitely need to be fired if that is what you did. I agree. You should not be able to keep your position. But you could be right, Digital. Judge Gull may have seen through the lies and gotten really upset. I think we talked about that on the last one, about how one of y'all said that Judge Gull is the one that suggested the defense go for a Franks hearing. Well, geez Louise. If that is true, then, I mean, why did she do it? Did she just think, we're going to let this will put a rest to it once and for all? Because, I mean, the defense is still going to bring it up in trial, I'm sure. if she, y'all, do you realize if Judge Gull rules in favor of the defense during a Franks hearing, then all of the evidence that they have against Richard Allen, it goes poof. They can't bring it into court. So if that is true, we're talking about the bullet in his house. We're talking about, the cell phones, everything. So what are they going to have? They better have a backup plan if she rules that, because they're going to have to completely come up with some more evidence or just drop the case. What do y'all think is going to happen? I mean, if you could predict it, what do you think? I'm curious. I definitely want to be right there when that hearing is going on. That's some crazy stuff right there. Michelle says staged because some directed other to a complete ritual for initiation, setting up Odinist group, RL and KK as possibilities for crucifixion. Pitbull says tactical strikes, and I'm not sure exactly, Four Pits, what that was referring to. All right, let's go on a little bit because we've got a lot more here. And actually, Four Pits, I think that you said this before. The lack of the red stuff on Abby was probably because she had been unalived in the water. That honestly makes a ton of sense to me. Unless, because then you're talking about back into the ritual stuff, unless someone was, how do I say this on YouTube? Unless someone was injured to the point that the red stuff was drained. Okay, get me? Because if that was not the case, then yeah, you being moved, being all of this going on, the severity of the injuries that we have, now been privy to, and the lack of the red stuff at the crime scene, I agree 100%, Four Pits. If that is the case, then it only makes sense to me that happened in the water. What do y'all think? All right, let's keep going. Samantha says it looks like he's carrying a small circular saw. The bridge guy, it's a rotary saw. It could be, but then, it also looks like, to me that it could be some kind, that he could be wearing a watch, and it could be some kind of sword. Tar Heel Girl, hello. I don't think I've heard from you before. You think it's real? It happens. It absolutely happens. So, how do we know? Okay, Chevy Killer says it's a skill saw. Yeah. Or one of those. I used one of those one time. I can do stuff, y'all. Did y'all know that I can do stuff? Yeah, what is it? It's the kind that the blade comes out, like you can, we were actually cutting out a window, so that's what I used that for. It could be, they are long like that. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, okay. I don't know if you can see all this on your screen. I can't. Let me make it bigger for just a second. Okay, they need to start, they need to start something I can't see because of my light. And look at Judge Fouts, is that what it is? Yeah. Who was a big part of this case and his boys club and his connections, as he was known to hang at and with Sons of Odin and had been to their hangouts. Somehow he has always escaped everything. And Michael with Hunting Evil and his talking about the Kokomo crew and the Sons of Odin. You know what? Actually, I've looked through a lot of comments in the last few videos, and several of you have mentioned that you have not discounted that Judge Fouts is somehow involved. Um, I agree that it is extremely possible, maybe even probable, depending on, again, the time of death and so many other factors that we still don't know. He's very sketch. Yes, we know from Jalen Raines that he was, him, the Kokomo crew, Sons of Odin, motorcycle gang. Like, look, he was all up in it. So if it turns out that this has something to do with CSAM or trafficking or something like that, I would say Fouts is definitely a prime suspect to have at least been involved in some way, shape, or form. So I agree with you there. Uh, let's see. See. Okay. I think Wisdom Sleuth made a really good comment. I just don't understand it all, so I'm not gonna, hey, Grizmatically Clever, y'all. Go check out his channel, too. Grizz said, I need to see that picture of a saw BG is holding. Okay. Okay. Let me go. Let me see. This is at 134. Let me go all the way back, Grizz. If you can see, I don't know if you can see my little mouse on here, but this is how they said it had been altered. Some of this around the edges cut out. You see that? So we're looking at his right hand. You see there's that little circle, and then there's something, to me, when I first looked at this picture, because it's a little bit fuzzy, when I first looked at this picture, it looked like that round thing might, now that I look at it, it's not a watch, but I was kind of thinking maybe that's what it was, and he was holding a sword or something, but honestly, when you see, I have seen this picture cleaned up a little bit where it's slightly clearer, and it does look like the hand is holding the end of something. So yeah, there you go. That's what that is about. Let me go back to where we were. Oh, look, my computer's working. The gremlins must have gave up or something. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, who else besides me remembers that Richard had spoken to Riley? Let's see, I had not heard that. And Riley cleared him. Then later it changed to Doolin. And who was the guy wearing the very look-alike bridge guy outfit walking into the fire department behind, I think, Riley the night that Mike was giving his interview? Good question. Good question. And let me also, let me say, hello, where did Libby's jeans come from? Actually, you know what? There were several comments that you and Copfax made a couple of weeks ago. I was trying to put that on here, and I don't know, the way that I screenshotted those, you can't see it, so I'm trying to clean that one up. She was dropped off in sweatpants, according to the person who dropped her off, and those at the pancake breakfast. Yeah. And because they're saying that Abby was dressed in Libby's jeans. So that is, yeah, that's a very valid question. I mean, if Abby was dressed in Libby's jeans, I mean, it would be apparent because they were two different distinct sizes. So it wouldn't be like they could be interchangeable. Yeah, where did those pants come from? And my question is, were they? Okay, she was, so I'm assuming that Abby was dressed in bigger jeans than were appropriate for her size. So if that's true, where did they get bigger jeans if they weren't Libby's? And have they conclusively proven that those blue jeans were indeed Libby's, or were they just bigger jeans from somebody else? I would think that they would have vetted that. Yeah, these are definitely the family. Somebody said these are definitely Libby's jeans. But yeah, draw whatever conclusions you'd like from that. But I'm just saying, where what if all this happened, okay, like early reports said, oh, it was all over by 3:30. I don't know what they said was what they are saying for sure was all over by 3:30. I don't think it was the whole thing, in my opinion, and I've said this a bunch of times. Those girls were not out there during the search. That is one thing I will tell you. And if I'm wrong, hey, you know what? I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong. But what I am going to say is there is no way that those girls were not found that afternoon, evening, being so close to the bridge. And if that's true, then it didn't all happen by 3:30. Now, if they were abducted, yes, that could have happened. Yeah, good question. I'm really interested to see what y'all say about those sweatpants, jeans. Very, very sus. Okay. So then would it not have to be premeditated? Of course. Where did they get the jeans? And if they were Libby's jeans, and they absolutely know they were Libby's jeans, where did they come from? Who had them? Okay? See? It gets very, very sticky right here. All right. So, sorry. Put this over here. Okay, so, back to Riley. Do y'all remember Riley and speaking to him, and then to Richard Allen, and then it changed to Doolin? Look, I'm going to tell you, there's so many things that have changed in this. It's mind-blowing. Who was the guy? I've actually heard several people ask this question. Who was the guy that was dressed like Bridge Guy that was walking behind Mike Patty in that night? Do y'all know? Let me see if anybody has said. Man, y'all said some good things in here. I'm trying to see if anybody has gotten Laura Thompson. What if it was Kelsey's jeans? Okay. But yeah, then follow up. I have Apophis. I don't know why I have such trouble with that. Who would have access to Libby's clothes closet? Yeah, if they were Kelsey's jeans, that's fine. But how? If Libby was abducted, how did Kelsey's or anybody else's jeans get there? I want to know for sure. I want to know for sure if those were Libby's jeans or if they were somebody else's jeans. And can you prove it to me? Obviously, they weren't Abby's. So, yeah, the clothes weren't just like switched. You know what I'm saying? You have a foreign pair of jeans. Libby's wearing sweatpants. So it's not like they just were undressed the girls and, just put the wrong clothes on them. You have a complete different set. You have Abby's jeans. You have Libby's sweatpants. Now you got another, who brought those? I mean, these are things you have to question. All right? I'm not accusing anybody. Understand that. I'm not accusing anybody. I'm saying that doesn't make sense. And I want to know whose jeans they were. 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's me too. Me too, Laura. I'm not trying to implicate the family. I'm not. I'm just, I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions that don't make sense. So somebody explain this to me. Uh, okay, Grizz, you said check out the photo I sent you in Discord. Oh, okay. I will. I will. Wisdom Sleuth says, and if it was sweatpants and a sweatshirt, it could easily have been men's clothing or boy size. Okay. Um, Very interesting. Man, y'all are going for a part 3 on here, aren't you? See, y'all are so smart. I love it. I love it. A. Bailey, hello, hello. Let's see what you got to say. Posted that same question on Delphi sites. I have Apophis, and you are exactly right. Yeah. I'm saying the same thing. I'm asking. I'm not accusing. I'm asking questions. That's what we do. Ruby Slippers said she might have taken her sister's jeans. But, okay. But if Libby took, let's say Libby was wearing Kelsey's jeans. I mean, Libby wasn't, according to, all the witnesses, that Libby wasn't wearing them. Abby, both Kelsey and Libby were much bigger girls than Abby, so Abby wouldn't have just borrowed a pair of Kelsey's or Libby's jeans to wear out there. And if you're gonna believe the bridge photo 100% without, any alterations or things like that, you can see that Abby's jeans fit her very well. So they were not someone else's jeans. Where'd they come from? Excellent. Excellent. Y'all are amazing. All right. Anybody know who that guy that looked like Bridge Guy was? Just throwing it out there. I know we've gotten so far off that, but that's okay. This is a much better discussion. Because of all of the crashing I had, let me try to get this other one up. This is from your last the last video, okay? The things that we were talking about. All right, Unmasked Truth. Making the issues public could preserve RA's life while he waits in Westville for a response. I didn't think about that till you said that. But you're right, because, we're talking about why would the defense, do all this and, the 136 pages and all that kind of stuff. You have a point, though. Maybe it was just to bring it, bring all of this to the attention, because now we are really focused on, I think even a lot of people who were on the trail of RA is guilty, now you see all this other evidence, and you're like, whether you think it was the Odinists or not, we got some lying law enforcement people here, and that is a problem, y'all. And I think, in my opinion, any jury is gonna look at that and say, well, if you lied about this, what else did you lie about? I know as a juror, I would be asking that question. What's going to stop you from lying about this other evidence? Come on. People aren't stupid. So, yeah, maybe that is a big part of the reason that they just wanted to bring it to the public's attention and everybody's attention, because what happens? You have people, like so many of these wonderful creators, no matter what side they're on, we're all looking at these document drops, and some people are have a distinct narrative that they're following. That's fine, it's their opinion, but we're all looking at this, and now Richard Allen isn't just up there in Westville, still just all by himself, and everybody's just sitting around. It was kind of dull, just a few weeks ago. Think about it, there wasn't really a whole lot to say about Delphi until trial. And now you've got all of these creators and all of you lovely people who are in the chats and on Discord and groups, all asking this same question. Oh, well, let's look at Richard Allen. Wow. I wonder if he might not be guilty because you have these other factors. I might have jumped the gun. Let's look at Richard Allen. Let's keep him safe. I think it is very. It was a very, very good move on their part. They're doing their job. Velvet Underground. 4 pits after 6 years. And we can't even figure out whose pants are what. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Hello, Ruth. Let me see. And if it was mistake and they meant to say sweatpants, what happened to the jeans? Yeah. Good question. I've heard, we didn't see documents until recently, but I have heard for a long time that Abby was dressed in Libby's clothes. So that, obviously, we have a problem here if it's jeans. All right. Okay, Charles Godwin says, I think we are seriously missing something here, and it's annoying. Oh, okay. What are we missing? All right. Let's keep going. And I think this was in, if I'm not mistaken, this was in regard to, I said something about, Judge Gold might be very angry at the defense for the way they did it. And why would you be mad at the defense's filing when it was something that the prosecution and the police that were working on the case compiled based on Becky saying she was suspicious of them? I think it was not the actual, that part. What I felt, at least, that Judge Gold might be upset about is not the bringing the Odin factor into it, but the description of the crime scene in such detail, and all the detail they went into about, the steps somebody would have to go through. I felt like because everybody's under a gag order and they were trying to keep things under wraps, could you have said what you wanted to say about the Odin factor without bringing the details of the crime scene into it? I mean, I'm glad they did, because, we're all out here wanting to know what was going on. But honestly, I would think that if Judge Gold was going to get upset, it would have been like, okay, I said go for the Franks here, and I didn't tell you to tell the world everything we know. So that was, I think, what was meant by that. Just wanted to answer that question. Now this I didn't know, y'all, but here you go. Let me just tell you, my time is limited. I do not watch a whole lot of other creators. Nothing against most of the people. There are some I really do not like, but most people, I'm fine. I want to hear what you have to say. I just don't have the time. So there are a lot of things I don't know. And you all have, the ability to go into different lives. I did not know this. If Snae's wife works for the courthouse, wouldn't she have access to the time frame that would come out and be able to get it before it was able to be made confidential? I didn't know Snae's wife worked at the courthouse. That's new information to me. I have checked out Snae, and I have been in a couple of his live chats. Honestly, I don't hardly go into anybody's live chats, okay? I'm never paying attention when people go live, so I did not know that. Okay, here we go. Thank you, so much. The crime scene photos, which I have not seen, showed jeans and not the same. Hold on. And not the same ones in the fake Snapchat photo. It wasn't a mistypo. Okay. So the crime scene photos, for those who have seen them, show jeans. Well, now there you go. There's your answer. Back to the first question. Where did the genes come from? Okay. Here's the thing. If you could figure out where the genes came from, you would probably, let's just say hypothetically, they came from a third party who was involved. There would have been DNA on those genes, shouldn't there have been? I mean, you know, potentially. If it's an outside person, let's just say it's a random, whatever. If it's CSAM, if it's, substances, whatever the theory is, there's so many rabbit holes on this. If they took someone else's genes, there should have been DNA on that. And if they were not, if the only DNA on those genes were Libby's, how did they get there? Good question. You have to ask. And again, let me say for the 5,000th time, I am not accusing anybody. I am asking valid and reasonable questions. Okay? And if it were my child, I would want somebody to ask reasonable and valid questions. Doesn't mean somebody is guilty. It means there's information that we don't have, okay? If they were indeed Libby's genes that came from her house, we need to know how they got there. There's a piece of the puzzle that is missing. It doesn't necessarily make anybody guilty, all right? What it does is it makes us ask a lot more questions, all right? Because there's something that is not being said. Charles. Oh, Digital asks, Charles Godwin, are you hiding in plain sight? Oh my goodness. My goodness, we get some spicy stuff tonight. All right. Now, I've heard several people talk about this Google map, the triangle of Richard Allen's house, backyard. The triangle neighborhood that he lived in, the house that Google Maps had pinned saying house, which was odd, but he had a view into Richard's backyard. Who owns it now? All right, this goes back to a comment that somebody made, and that said, I think they actually said that Sleuth Intuition had it on there, but several people have. I've seen it where there is a Google map and you have this pin, that's usually for businesses and stuff, and it says house. And they're talking about the people that lived close to Richard Allen, and, what's up with that? And what's up with the Google Maps? Yeah, I got, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? I'm trying to catch up with y'all's chat. Sandy D. Let me get to this. CVS and Dairy Queen were across the street from each other. It's possible that Kelsey knew RA. How many places is there to go eat in Delphi? Yeah. You would think, right? I don't know. I've always said that. I don't know why. I don't know why people, in my opinion, in a town that small with one pharmacy, you might not know. I don't know. Like, I don't know the people that work at my local gas station that I stop at. I don't know them personally, but I know them. I've talked to them. They're not a complete surprise. So, and my town is way, way, way bigger than Delphi. So, I've said that from forever, since they arrested Richard Allen. All right. And I'm so far behind on chat. Let me see if you said anything about this Triangle neighborhood. Did that seem odd to y'all? And who does live there? I've seen this so much in different chats. It's crazy. Oh, I is talking about the next episode. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. That'll be a good one. Let me just tell you, you are very far advanced ahead of me on a lot of stuff. I have to watch your videos several times and before I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. All right. What do y'all think about this? Nick McClellan needs to now we're back on Flora, but this is some spicy tea. Nick McClellan needs to release the Flora 911 call. Amen. He fought to keep it private and spent a lot of county money on to do so. Kelsey, I don't know if Chelsea. I heard that there were some racist things said on that which would expose their vile behavior. I think Weaver was also part of that call, if I remember correctly. I don't know about that, but now that would, and I've always kind of wondered about that 911 call if there were some racial slurs in there because they fought so hard. I didn't necessarily think it was that somebody said something about the perpetrator. I mean, it could be, but my thought has always been that somebody said something that was terribly inappropriate, and it's on the 911 call, and they would absolutely do anything to keep that from coming out. And I get why, because what kind of can of worms would that open, you know? What do y'all think? Why do you think they haven't released the 911 call? Do you think it's something like that? Or do you think that, there's something actually about the perpetrator on there? Clearly, it's shady as heck, okay? It just is, because why wouldn't you? Go through all these courts. You will do anything to keep that 911 call secret. Disgusting, Carroll County, and shame on you. Because people have the right to know. I want to tell you something. Even if there are racial slurs and you've got, dirty officials, whether it's law enforcement or firemen or just whatever, people have the right to know. They have the right to know. They need to know, and they have the right to know who is among them and what their character is. But I mean, some people might be out of a job, so guess you got to keep that a secret. It will come out. It will come out eventually. It will. All right, let's see. I'm sorry, my stomach is, I haven't eaten much today. My stomach is just, all right, I haven't heard from Anna Lisette. What a pretty name. Anna Lisette at Velvet Underground. Abby was wearing her own shirt as seen on the bridge photo, but probably Libby's jeans, pants, and her sweatshirt and jacket. Don't know about shoes. Yeah, she was, my understanding, yes, she was wearing the shirt in the bridge photo. But yeah, not her jeans again. We'll have to, I'm looking forward to the genealogy. All right, let's go on. All right. Y'all are on fire tonight. Just on fire. Man. Jeez Louise. Oh. Sandy D. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. That's good, though. I was going to highlight that one. Where did that one go? Sandy D? You were asking about... Here we go. Now, here's something I really don't know about. Y'all tell me. Why would Nick McClelland have an email with Callie Schimmel's name? She is a photographer, former 911 operator, and county clerk. Huh. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? That is a name. Callie Schimmel is not a name that I have heard before. So what are you, I guess, what are you saying, or what do you think, Sandy D? Because I don't know. I definitely somebody in here. All right, let's go back in here, y'all. Y'all just telling the truth here. Wisdom Sleuth said, Sandy D, oh my God, I almost missed it. That comment is probably the same lady that sued Robert Ives' brother for calling her a Jezebel when she was the former 911 dispatch operator. Wonder if she was then. Oh, wow. Well, there's some spicy tea. Ladies sued Robert Ives' brother for calling her a Jezebel. My. There's just some things I shouldn't say. Oh. Some professions, including nursing, all right, I'm going to throw myself in this, including nursing and hospitals, but there are just some professions that seem to breed all kind of interesting behavior, all right? And so I could see that. Actually, I could see that particular situation happening in my county. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But in case any of my coworkers watch this, it could happen here too. I'm just saying. Very interesting. Oh, okay. 4 pits. Look at you, always know so much. Kelly used to be Nick's secretary. Okay. Well, that would explain some of that. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're talking about Flora. All right. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to read some of this. Some of this I'm not gonna I'm gonna investigate more. All right, let's keep going. All right. Okay, we're back to the map. Yeah, see, and we talked about this on CJ's today. This came up, and several people since then have said that on Sleuth, I don't know what video it is, y'all, Sleuth Intuition's channel, that a Google map was shown that Tobe had his purple PT Cruiser parked in backwards at his house. No wonder they interviewed him 7 times. Yeah, we talked extensively about this earlier today. I didn't know that I knew that they had questioned Tobe. I knew that several people had tipped him in, but come on, 7 times? 7 times you got to interview the sheriff? The sheriff. I, honest to goodness, cannot even fathom that happening in our county. I work at the sheriff's office. That's mind-blowing to me. 7 times? Purple PT Cruiser? Parked in backwards? I'm just saying. Y'all. Sus as heck. Let's see. And there was also something else about, maybe that'll come up in another one. I know it's in here. About, maybe we'll get to it. Also, someone was talking about the purple PT Cruiser and a shack type thing, building, whatever, of Tobe's. So, you got to question these things. Yeah, Professor Pug. Hard to hide a hard to hide a purple car. Yeah, I mean, come on. How many people have purple cars? You know, nothing wrong with a purple car. Yeah, but it stands out. Okay. And let me just go back to that whole defense thing. You're not going to mistake a purple PT Cruiser for something else, okay? And how many? Come on now. I had a PT Cruiser for a few months. Mine was white. How many purple PT Cruisers are there in a county of roughly 2,000 people? I mean, in the whole state. I'd like to know how many purple PT Cruisers, because I'm going to tell you something. You know how when you have a car, all of a sudden you see every other car on the road that is exactly like your car? I saw thousands, seems like. I don't know. I saw a bunch of PT Cruisers when I had mine. Not one time did I ever see a purple one. Never. Maybe we just don't like purple here in Alabama. I don't know. But I didn't see any. Uh, that's just my thought on that. All right. Also, Wisdom says, Margaret, that's the underlying theme in all of these cases that are tied back to the Masons and all of these areas. Basically, if they show up out the gate on Dr. Phil, they might be part of a con job. But we talked about this. Yes, there are tons of ties to the Freemasons. There are. Does that make them guilty? No, it does not. But it does make them sus because of the nature of the secrecy, okay? And the covering that they take an oath to do. Now, if there is not a Freemason in the bunch that's guilty of anything, then, that's fine. Whatever. Then nobody's guilty. But if one of them is, the likelihood that the rest are covering, pretty good. Okay? My opinion, but, we know what happens. Let's see. Man, I'm going to have to go back and just read all your stuff for Pits. Let me throw this out here. Callie's husband is Jay Schimmel. He was Carroll County law enforcement for 20 years. Huh. Man. See, this right here is why I do this spicy tea, because what y'all say is good stuff. The questions you all ask, excellent. Okay, y'all have some great minds up in here. All right, let's go on to the next one. Yeah, Keith Kellogg had said about Tobe 7 times, and I bet he lied, I don't know. Unmasked Truth says, funny how it seems like Tobe was never involved now that Liggett took over. Yeah. What about that? That all kind of died down since last year, hadn't it? Is that coincidental? I don't know. Is it? Interesting, though. I mean, a lot of people are going to say it died down because Richard Allen was arrested, which is partially true. But hasn't law enforcement said, everybody said, we're looking for other players, There's some other bad actors in here. He didn't do that alone, Law enforcement has said it over and over. So, yeah. Was he cleared? I mean, I've heard that he was. I don't know. Like, if you gotta interview somebody 7 times, I'm like, can you really be cleared? I mean, maybe I'm not saying he's guilty. I don't know. But I'm saying, makes you wonder, right? It's sus. It would be sus to anybody who had been interviewed 7 times. Bonnie said Tobe had a shack, but it was closer to the crime scene, I think. Is that true, y'all? Was it closer to the crime scene? Isn't that interesting? I'm going to see if anybody says anything. Some of y'all are so funny with your comments, and I'm not gonna say some of them. Oh, okay. This looks like a spicy comment. Wisdom Slew says, "Oh, well, I heard that about the 911 call, and that they spent $30,000 to keep it buried. I think that it was said it was Weaver. Isn't he the cocky one leaning against the fire truck giving the interview talking about the phone ping? I don't know. Is it? Huh. Yeah. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money and a lot of court battles. If y'all ever watch and look at how they tried, and were successful keeping that 911 call quiet. I'm about to lose my voice. All right. Yeah, see, this is interesting. This is all part of this. Talking about Tobe's shack, talking about the shack, talking about the car, all this stuff. Yeah, I think that was his. There was another shack too, and I think both of them caught fire, didn't they? Well, that just color me shocked that there was, two shacks burnt down in Carroll County, because God knows there's never fires over there. Let me tell you something. I was just gonna, even all the way here in Alabama, there are ways that you can keep up with what's going on Carroll County, and the calls, the stuff that comes up, the emergency calls. And so I'll just tell you, it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 months that I've been following emergency calls in Carroll County. Even over the summer, I get astounded all of the time about what comes over the information, okay, about fires in Carroll County. For goodness sakes, do you know how many things have caught on fire building? I'm not talking about, people's barbecues. I'm talking about buildings on fire and stuff. It's like, I look at this stuff all the time and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? There's another fire in Carroll County? Jeez, and it's only Tuesday. We'll probably have another one before the week's out. I mean, it's like, yeah, it is mind-boggling to me how many fires y'all people have. I mean, it's an epidemic. I'm not saying that it's arson. What I'm saying is, it's mighty sus. I ain't never. And I know what's going on in my area too. And we are so much bigger. We don't have as many fires as you do in Carroll County, 2,000 people. Or 20,000 people in the whole county, something like that. 22,000, something. Like, seriously? Jeez. It's not normal. Okay. I'm going to stop ranting about that. Because then I'm going to get on Flora and I'm going to just completely lose my cookies. Oh, yeah, well, let's talk about that now. All right, I threw this in here that Nobody Nothing said. If you will remember, because this is the same thing. I always wonder if the Dr. Wagner fire that unalived his family was somehow entangled with the Wagner Carroll County pill mill that unalived how many? A bunch. Okay, I don't know about the pill mill. And the Wagner, Carol, I don't know about that. But if you will go back, this is a thing, like, I put it on my to-do list, like when Delphi's done, when Flora's done, some of these other things, when Tanner Barton is done, I put it on my to-do list to go back to this case right here, because it was during Flora week, okay, it was the last Flora video I did, and I had gone to another, I found an absolutely wonderful creator who had done seriously good work. And I named the channel, asked her permission to use part of her video because clearly she did extensive research. And we were talking about fires in Carroll County. And I was also looking up on my own, looking up some articles from the Carroll County Comet. And I came across an old uh, article about the Wagner fire that literally was across the street from Galen. Now, it wasn't, it was years apart, but Dr. Wagner had a business across from Galen Rose where she would move into. And then, it went into, now the fire wasn't there, it was at his house. If you go back and you watch that video and you just read the article, you don't have to, and I've got it all up there. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to find some flaws in that one, okay? I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know these people. Don't know Dr. Wagner. Might be a great person. But I'm just looking at this report, and I've got a lot of questions, okay? It doesn't jive. That is my opinion. I'm not accusing anybody. That is my opinion. Maybe it was written wrong, okay? But from the way it was reported and the statements from other people, I thought I'd throw this in there because you're right, nobody, nothing. I think I even said it in the video that it's sus. But I left it there because, you know what? There's a lot of sus fires. But this resulted in the unalivings of several children. So, again, that made me mad. Let's see. What are you saying? Gosh, we're talking about fires in chat. Yeah. Y'all got some good stuff. We're going to have to come back. I'm just telling you, we're going to have to come back. Again. How many people were aware that of that $9 million? Okay, this one, y'all. $9 million film that the guy from Alaska got the Indiana kids to do to their friend, and I think it was filmed live. I mean, talk about scary. Okay, I'll just tell you from the get-go, I don't know anything about this unless it's been hinted at. I mean, somebody please tell me that you know about this. Okay, that you've heard about this. I'm not sure what guy from Alaska you're talking about, but I don't know. Isn't Anthony Shot the actual, not Anthony Shots. I wondered if there was any, I'm not saying that he did it. Isn't the guy whose picture that Kagan Klein was using as Anthony Shots, isn't that really a police officer? Isn't he from Alaska? So I didn't know if somehow they found it. I don't know. But as you know, many people have theorized that Abby and Libby's situation was part of a film. And we actually talked about that earlier today too. Somebody brought up a photographer in Delphi and or in the area, and something that Coach Kev said made me think, you know what? I think it would be a good idea, if this is the case, that we take a look at all of the people who were photographers or videographers around that time in Carroll County. I mean, I have to go back and see exactly what Coach Kev said, but it really sparked that. I'm like, well, let's not just look at one photographer. Let's look at all of them. Because you don't know. Let me see. Do y'all know what Wisdom Sleuth is talking about in this? Yeah, Samantha Springman. Yeah, the real Anthony Shots, whatever his name is It's not Anthony Shots. It's something though. Uh, Laura says Anthony Shot sounds like a stage name for a stripper. It really does. Uh, yeah, there is some kind of sketchy stuff though there. I would like to know if anybody knows about this film they're talking about. Um, because I don't. If y'all think about it later, something comes to mind, put it in the comments to this video. I'd like to know. $9 million. Wow, it's a lot of money. I mean, I could live on it. All right. So that is the end of what you said. Again, I think some of the other video, I'm glad Ive Apophis was in here tonight, because a lot of the stuff that was in the video that I can't get to really fit on the screen right, was part of that, about the genes. And that is an absolute, it was great that I was here tonight to talk about that. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right, here you go. Thank you, Unmasked Truth. Darren Shillmiller of New Salisbury, Indiana, posed as a millionaire named Tyler online and offered 18-year-old Denali Bremer $9 million or more to commit a very serious assault and unaliving of someone in Alaska. Okay, all right. I say I had not heard that. That's a new one on me. But speaking of CSAM and all that kind of stuff and trafficking, did y'all see where I think someone sent me this information about a week or so ago. Actually, Jinxie, I think you might have sent me something about all of the arrests in Indiana. Like the huge number of arrests of people who were in this, either trafficking or whatever. Um, and definitely inappropriate relationships with minors. And look, y'all, these people were professionals. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody who does this is lives in a substandard, or that type of person. Just because you maybe didn't have the opportunity for a higher education, or you live at poverty level, does not make you a bad person, doesn't make you a criminal. Okay, so I'm not saying that, but it really surprised me because come on, how many professional people really get busted? There was a huge bust, and you talk about people from all over Indiana, and so many of them, my goodness. I want to bring that up. There's another, which I know one of you I was talking to. This is before all Delphi, stuff broke. I wanted to do a Carroll County Hall of Shame. I mean, how many people in Carroll County related to some of these infamous people that we talk about all the time are, criminals themselves? And then you add all this stuff, this huge bust in Indiana. I was shocked, professors at universities. I mean, one guy was a youth leader in a church. And I mean, come on, we all know what happens, but they did a really good sweep. And I'm like, wow, it's scary. Y'all, it's scary to think about our children and how many predators there are out there. It really uh makes you it makes you scared to let them go out the door is what it does. We're talking about this film again. Okay. Velvet, you remember that 9 million. You know what, Velvet, we'll have to talk later. Did you know about that $9 million film? Because I'm thinking We'll have a private conversation about that. I'd love to know the details on that one. Um, yeah, there are a lot of suspicious people in here, and y'all absolutely blew it out of the water. What time is it? Oh yeah, we've been at this for we've been at this for a while. I know a lot of y'all have to get up and go to work, and I don't want to keep you up. Again, uh, anybody who had to drop out, catch it on the replay. Would love to hear your comments on the video. A lot of times I don't get to see, like I said, I'm not in a lot of live chats. I go back and watch the videos, and it's like, comment. It's not too late. It's never too late to comment. If you want to make a, something that somebody said in the chat, you want to ask a question, whatever, please do it. Do it. The comments are the best. Y'all are the best. So what did you Chevy Killer 306, I'm just telling you, I can't even with you in your comments. This is so dang funny. I can't even. The pictures that you put in my head, living rent free. I wish I could. They're so funny, but I wish I could get them out of my head. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. Please know that I am gonna be reading this stuff. My goodness, you're so amazing. I'm going to for my members, I'm trying. I'm not gonna promise you to do a members only this Sunday because I work. And I work, 12, 13 hours. If I get off early enough, I may try to do a members only. If not, I'll try to do one again as soon as possible. I love to have fun with y'all. And we'll talk about it. I also want to, I'm sure we'll have a follow-up to this because y'all are on fire tonight. And just so you members know, I think what I'm going to do with our next members only is I will have it set to where only members can comment or come on panel, but I may leave it open just so other people who are curious to want to know. I'll just tell you right now, we cut up. We cut up a lot. Sometimes we talk serious, but we also cut up quite a bit. So if you want a taste of that, of what happens in the privacy of members only, probably gonna do one. So heads up to y'all. No, it's probably gonna be seen by everybody. So anyway, all right, y'all have a wonderful night. I'm gonna throw some of your comments up here while you're saying goodbye and good night and some of the things. Know that we're gonna do this again soon because y'all are the bomb. All right, hope you have a great evening. Get some good sleep. Think about some of this stuff. If something comes to mind, put it in the comments. And y'all, especially in Carroll County, y'all stay safe. And whatever you do, just stay silky. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.